Come. You wouldn't think she's about 10 and a half, but she is. Come on, come. Hey, come on. Hey, we're eating grass. I really don't mind her eating grass as much as she'll get into something bad and she'll inadvertently poison herself. See, the leaves are changing. Good morning, good morning. It's I guess August 15 maybe. Hey, have a look. Sure enough, we said goodbye to Lenny this morning, and I won't bother his lovely wife Jen. Those are our neighbors next door. We've known them for about 4 seasons. Summer camp's over. Had a lovely night last night. Jen and Lynn invited us over to hang out with their family. They're having a big soiree. They call it. Jen says, "Come over and eat," and we have a bunch of must-goes basically, and we're gonna eat until there ain't any. But we got to get it out of here. 3 beautiful children and a new dog named Max were present. Just love kids. You're just lovely children. So rig's buttoned up, ready to go. Just waiting on the wife, which is basically the story of my life. She will come around and put her face on, and we're going to do the 250 miles. There's rabbit trails back in and around here, and she just loves rabbit poop. But I mean, who doesn't? So, yeah. See that? You can't see that tower in the distance, but see that the 2 trees that are prominent in your view? Just to the right is a tree, and slightly left of it is Verizon Tower. There's not many here, and we have a strong Verizon signal, which allows us, now we're coming into the birch forest, allows us to have unlimited internet. So with all due respect to my friend Jerry, who bought Starlink, I have redneck Starlink. I found a way to make Verizon's unlimited plan work for me perfectly. 250 miles to Augusta, Maine, and then we rest a day overnight. The following day, you stand down, and then we'll drive. So it's drive a day, rest a day, drive a day. And 1,680 short miles, we'll be home. Come. Little does she know that if she's good enough to stay around long enough through next year, she's going to get a sister. As mentioned on my Facebook post, I met a fella here about three years ago who is a local farmer, and he does a couple of breeds every year. And I'm 99% certain it's no papers. I think that's what he said. It doesn't matter to me because Ellie's got papers, and it just doesn't mean anything to me. People love papers though. Come. Hey. Come on. He wants to trail a rabbit off. Come on. So he has charcoal and silver labs, and depending on who you talk to, not nobody, but dog snobs want to not recognize this as a specific breed because there's Weimaraner in them. Well, I don't care. I mean, look at Ellie. Does she look like a classic lab? Oop. Big long nose, long tail. That stupid snobby AKC dog show they do every year, they drum her right out. She doesn't look like their quintessential idea of a lab. But these silver labs, nonetheless, are absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful. So, I've seen the father of the litters, and about 4 years old, and just great disposition. Beautiful dog, no hot spots. You know, when you take your dog to Florida, you're gonna have skin issues. But he's always been, his dog's healthy, and so we the plan is that next year, if he goes ahead and does a couple of litters, if they can be weaned by September 30, and yeah, God's got other plans typically, but if it can be weaned by September 30, I got to leave by September 30 of next year. So that's the agreement. I put a earnest payment on the pup, and we're getting a little jazzed. I think we're going to take the long walk this morning and mess all of y'all up. People foolish enough to listen to me. Come on. Yeah, lovely stay. Goodbye to Jen and Lynn and their family. Of course, Ralph and Helen. Ellie. Come on. That's about the end of the rabbit incursion back there. Now we start to go on the back side. This is I don't know, a mile and a quarter. And that tires her out. Last year, you could not wear her out on a hike. And this year, and it really kind of started out, made us nervous. We brought her home. We were home, I don't know, 8 or 10 days. And she was lackluster. And we expected that because she'd been partying for 10 weeks with my son and his 1.5-year-old dog. And there wasn't any of this. And like I said, Ellie Bang. Yeah, let's go this way. You're good. Go play. More birchwood forest. So yeah, she was lackluster, and I'm like, man, I don't know what to do. She was just slightly heavier than when I dropped her off at my kids'. So I just started reducing her weight over the course of a month. Just cutting her intake and reducing her snacks. And she started perking up. Well, 2 years ago, the vet was nervous and said she had a distended spleen. Her spleen was a little large, enlarged spleen. He said that's mostly seen in German Shepherds, and the best thing to do is do a biopsy in case something bad going on with her. Did the punch biopsies, negative. He just said keep the weight off of her. So I'm like, well, that's the only thing I know I have control over. She wasn't in any pain or didn't have any obvious pain, but most likely, I mean, if I had to bet dollars to donuts, she's just had too much weight on her. And with Ellie, an enlarged spleen was probably pushing on stuff because she's spry, you know. Now, after this 1.25 mile walk, she'll go home and sleep. But back in the day, she'd be ready to go again. That's just the natural, horrifying maturation process of what is ostensibly having a 3-year-old child, a perennial, no, who gets into every bit of rabbit poop she possibly can. But if she makes it through the balance of next year, age 11 and some change, she is going to be tortured by a new puppy. And that's a big deal, man. When you commit to a dog, it's like committing to a child. And I'm talking about getting up at 2 and 4 a.m. Sherbo won't be doing that, but getting up at 2 and 4 a.m. and taking them to pee and trying to keep them from drowning in your pool, and just everything that goes along with being a responsible pet owner. It'll be the first time in our lives we actually had 2 dogs simultaneously. But that's if everything comes together. If she's good enough to hang around another couple of years, and if Sean Bagley's litter gets weaned out in time for us to leave. But yeah, we're all jazzed about the future. Next year we'll be staying here a whole season from May 15 through September 30. And we do have a slight fudge factor of about 4 days. We can stay a little bit longer. And actually, I gave that some thought in the night because I do not sleep through the night. And we would go ahead and, Ellie, we're going to go this way, hon. Come. By the way, right down there on that corner, we jumped a black bear either last year or the year before. It was a slightly unnerving because she was off lead and Sherba froze, and I don't freak out, fall out, or freeze up. So I grabbed Ellie by her harness. There's a convenient handle, and she stopped, and then of course the bear spooked. But right there, in fact, it scared the bear so bad he rolled sideways into the woods right there. 200-something pound male juvenile. What do we got down here? We got some vegetation tore up down here. Huh. Find out in a second. Hey, come. Hey, you gotta come this way. She knows the way. We're just taking a little shorter cut. I gotta get out of here. I want to get this day. You know, we haven't driven that thing in 2 months, and I want to kind of knock this out. Now, what did that? Okay. Yeah. Looking for ends here. No, yeah. These are intentionally cut. Good. Yeah. Good. They have moose here, and moose weigh 1,400 pounds, and they do not have a great disposition. Look at that, isn't it beautiful? Hill out there in the distance, that's a beaver pond. That's the cut that you'd walk through when you go hike past the beaver pond. Come on, Else. This is the hard. Hey. Come here. Hey, Ellie Bain. She heads straight for the water, man. She's water dog all the way. But yeah, every year we talk about doing things here, and we like hiking all the way back past that, and we never do. Speaking of which, I've made arrangements for here and North Carolina. Lovely folks at the falls there in North Carolina. I'm booked out until 26, so we have bookends on either end. Well, we booked out this one until 26, and the same for North Carolina, Blue Ridge Falls. Hey, come. Rabbit Trail. But yeah, short recap, we're leaving. Heading back home, 1,680 miles. It'll take us 2 weeks. Just taking our time going back. We get back, we have about 4 days to pack, and Sherba's got to see a dermatologist. And then we go hop on a plane and then a train to Alaska, and then a boat back home towards out of Alaska. And then we say we're going to do this with our neighbors, Jerry and Debbie. We say farewell to them on the way back after we get off the boat, and we're going to go ahead and do the Western Rockies for about a week. We're going to see Banff National Park, not in the winter. Ellie, come. So we're going to be getting warm here for the next 2 or 3 weeks, and then we're going to get cold again. That little girl goes to my son for 3 weeks, and I will politely ask him to not overfeed her because we like her spry. They love dogs. Oh my God. They have two. Stella, the most beautiful, really one of the most beautiful Great Danes I've ever seen in my life. Great disposition. She's just elegant. And then Dez, a Rottweiler, generally a type of dog I don't like, but he is the best. We come home from Alaska, and then we're home for 2 weeks, which is kind of nice. And we'll relax a bit, and then take the rig back up to North Carolina, 600 miles, stay for a month, and then come home. and go to Trimble Park immediately and camp another 2 weeks. So that's all that's going on that way. That's all if God doesn't have other plans. So that's the recap. Taking off this morning, getting home for a few days, heading to Alaska, about 3 weeks, heading back home, go to North Carolina for a month, which time Jerry and Debbie will rejoin us with their rig, and Marshall and Susie, my longtime great friends and neighbors. Susie's my auxiliary wife. Ellie. They will join us in North Carolina for a week, I think is how that's working. So that's pretty cool. This whole travel thing's awesome. Home for the season, and then that's the winter season. And we hit the road again around April 1, and we'll take 6 weeks to get up here. We haven't got that itinerary hammered out yet, but basically thinking about going and visiting a friend of mine in Illinois, and either on the way from or to there, we'll end up in Kentucky and a few other places we hadn't been to. Robbie Arkovit, he's been to, they just got back from Missouri, and I secretly wouldn't mind going there and doing the arch. I don't know. I have a friend in Missouri that I grew up with. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. All right. I've listened to myself as long as I can tolerate it. I hope you all have a very wonderful day and week, and we're going to hit the road here in a bit. See ya.